look at this Compadres team, and all eyes are going to be on them throughout the day because there's a lot riding on both of their matches. Obviously, this one, they need to win this one to give themselves a chance at the top 4. If they don't beat Afterthought later, there's 4 teams on at least 5 wins. Compadres wouldn't join them. They're out of top 4 contention.
Exactly.
The other part of this is the Charlotte Phoenix later tonight can clinch top 4 if some other results go their way, including Compadres beating Afterthought. This is, as was mentioned earlier, a nice little tune-up for them.
And Compadres, I mean, they're thieves. They take these games off of upper-level teams and run away with them, but then end up falling short a lot of the times to lower-level RLCS teams and rival series teams.
This will be Porklet to start things off for Zookeepers.
Yeah.
And now Porklet coming on again. He is at the center of a lot of plays for this Zookeepers squad. If he does not get going, the team does not get going. Tool quickly down the other way. Off the pass from Bambi this time, and the shot is saved by Skills. Now ZPS out of the corner for himself, loose in front, and saved away at the last moment by Tool. Bambi got a piece of this, so no centering pass for Compadres, but plenty of pressure on the offensive end.
And this is what I was talking about. I want to see Zookeepers. They have to break out of that goalkeeper rotation and find challenges in front of the net instead of just playing passively and waiting for the shots to come in to force a save.
Porklet will try to chase this one down himself, but he's beaten to the boost by ZPS, who came in from out of nowhere. That will hinder his efforts greatly. But now Tool to the ceiling.
Oh, what a
down pass to Porklet, and he hit the crossbar. Tool will try again. He can't finish. And a great opportunity gone by the wayside for the underdogs, the Zookeeper.
And that's a must-finish shot. That pass coming through off the ceiling. Porklet could not find the net. That is just a wasted opportunity off of a fantastic pass.
And now Tool will intercept here. Bambi trying to start the attack downfield for the Zookeepers. Try to stall out Compadres, catch him in a counterattack. Easier said than done because they got one of the better defenders that we've seen in the rival series in Astro leading the way. ZPS will watch as Skills makes the save this time. And he is going to take this ball downfield himself. ZPS and Astro starting to form in behind him, waiting for a centering pass that eventually does come. Oh, it's a shot from ZPS. Nobody reacted for Zookeepers, and Compadres strike first.
ZPS with the snipe from the corner, upper pocket of the net. What an angle, and finding even anything on target from that angle is relatively impossible, but ZPS makes it look easy.
Nobody's really shy to take shots on this Compadres team. Meanwhile, Porklet rather shy to take shots overall, but on a rare shot from him, he does score here, and it is, as we mentioned earlier, Turtle, mop-up duty.
And it's off of a very poor clear, actually, from Compadres. Needed to get some kind of momentum, mistimed the bounce, but Porklet this time, he did miss the earlier cleanup goal off the ceiling, but thankfully, he's able to capitalize here.
There's a miss that Astro almost took advantage of, and Tool credited with the save, but he also banged into a teammate in the net. So Zookeepers do stop Compadres from getting one right back, and now they can go downfield. It is Bambi all alone, and ZPS will send this away. ZPS again, this time for Astro, met at point blank by Tool. It does deflect wide of the opposite goal, so Skills can go back and collect. He was hoping that corner boost would spawn. It did so behind him, so he's got to scramble back and get in position with still no boost available, and Tool almost scoring on the weak side behind him. Now Bambi will watch this one go out of his control, and Porklet turns it over to Skills, the last guy that Zookeepers want to see with the ball on this Compadres team, as Astro comes on and takes out Porklet.
And so far, the pressure has really been matched from Zookeepers. Starting to get some physical play as well. But here comes a double touch. Can he land at ZPS? He's been so strong as of late for the offense of Compadres, and he's been the key X factor to start a play.
It does feel like the Compadres are almost trying to bait Zookeepers on the defensive end. They're using a long pass in the backfield, getting someone to bite, and Skills scores here to give Compadres the lead.
And look at the patience from Skills. He goes up, doesn't even boost at all, waits for his flip, and just sneaks it under him.
That is the 11th shot for the Compadres, well over their season average. Zookeepers, they do tend to face a lot of shots.
But it's surprising because it doesn't feel really like a huge possession game for Compadres. Yes, they have strong offense, but Zookeepers, they've had some great chances as well.
It's almost like the Compadres are just throwing the ball at the net and hoping something sticks. And a couple of times it has, almost a third, but Tool clears that over ZPS. Now Bambi, quick turn onto this, has a lane to shoot through, and with some interference in front, Bambi ties the game.
The demo comes through as well. Off of a weird bounce with the 50, we see Porklet get the bump in the net, denying any clear from coming up, and they counter attack, tying the game up 2-2, 20 seconds left.
Tool will steal the boost from right in front of Skills, then trying to play around him, hoping a teammate would come up. Nobody did. So now Bambi has a chance to find Porklet. No, cut out by ZPS. Few seconds remain before we go to overtime, and what a start it would be to our second to last week here in North America. Then having these two teams go to OT in game one, that's what we get. Now Porklet, he'll climb. He may try to play this himself, and instead it's off to ZPS and Skills downfield, and very quickly getting back is Tool. So quick hitters on both sides of the field. No goals just yet. ZPS thought about running interference, but nobody was coming up. This could be dangerous. It's a double commit, though, for the Zookeepers. So Bambi has to run back, and he's got to say a prayer. Here's Astro, and Bambi makes the save. Skills, though, can keep this play alive, and Bambi is there to cut it out.
And what started out as a great challenge from Compadres and a chance Zookeepers could have gotten a really solid punishing goal and win game one, but they couldn't finish it even after a double commit. So far, still tied up in game one.
It would be just like Zookeepers to drop this game, having come back twice and playing so well against this Compadres team that is the favorite on paper, but just not being able to find that critical goal, that critical weakness.
And Compadres, I mean, they're taking it really slow. Their approach to the ball is very patient. I really love that about their play style right now, is the way they're kind of looking at the field and making use of a lot of the space that's given to them.
ZPS got a late break on this ball, but does make the stop on Porklet. Now Astro with ZPS running into Bambi. Now Skills trying to drop one down. Came from the ceiling as well. And Bambi is right there. Good recovery and a great job not panicking by the Zookeepers. Now they're without Porklet. Tool's got to get there, and he does. And now nobody is back for Compadres, but just could not get around on the shot. And that should just about kill the attack. That's a clever touch by Porklet, but ZPS not fooled, and the Compadres don't lose their composure either.
That's the second chance Zookeepers have got, trying to run away with a counterattack and break out of their defensive end. They've come so close. Can't help but think back to the double commit. And now again with a dribble. But the challenges from Zookeeper have been phenomenal. It just seems like Compadres have more possession of the entire game in the field.
The scoring here started with ZPS scoring from the side wall. And he almost got a shot off from a similar angle just now. Now Skills back downfield where Porklet will collect. He does not get the corner boost. That is still up for grabs. Skills will take it on his way out, and he may need it as he's got to come in and support ZPS on the defensive end. Another ball that goes over towards Skills and kind of hopped up on the corner there. So Astro will have to come out, make a block on Porklet. And both teams playing rather conservatively, but we've seen a couple of stretches where This game could have ended out of absolutely nowhere. Tool couldn't get a second touch there. And that ball is staying unpossessed for a while at midfield.
Seems like Compadres right now starting to shell up a bit on the defensive end. Shots just keep coming in, but they're not really anything overwhelming. You don't see any panic out of Compadres because the shooting game right now for Zookeepers is just rough.
You start thinking about a game like this, maybe some records, and there is ZPS. He started the scoring, and by goodness, did he ever end it.
And he's been so consistent right now on the offensive end, predicting his flip, getting a great bounce, and then another super tight angle from ZPS to put one in and take game one for Compadres.
And so it is the Compadres that survive game one.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the shots are just ridiculous. 19 shots just for one side, and then another 11 on the other side. So you're looking at about 30 shots between these two teams. And plenty of saves to go around.
Yeah.
Actually, I think for Tool, that ties a rival series record with 8 saves, a record that's already been tied this season.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. But it's weird because that's what I was saying. It felt like the shots for Compadres were way stronger, but the defense from Zookeepers was there. And then on the other side, we had really weak shots from Zookeepers, and then, you know, just patient defense from Compadres. I thought they waited and took use of a lot of the space that was given to them, you know, slow dribbles to get out of the field, and I think that's what gave them the edge because there really wasn't a chance for them to panic other than the double commit from Zookeepers, but even then they couldn't punish.
Could have been a breakout performance as well for ZPS. That looked like one of the better games we've seen him play throughout the entire rival series season. All the talk is, you know, skills. And Astro, of course, has been a mainstay in the rival series for a while. But ZPS
definitely
making, boy, I'm going to run the risk of sounding really dumb. I believe his rival series debut and having that kind of a game in crunch time now. We're in week 4 in a must-win match. That's got to be huge for his confidence.
And there's no better time, like you said, Stacks, to show up. But now they need this win against Zookeepers. They want to have top 4 contention. And they also have another crazy matchup later today against Afterthought. 2 huge games for Compadres. And they're feeling the pressure, but they're not looking nervous on field at all.
A scramble in front of the Zookeepers net does not result in a goal. Instead, coming back the other way, it is Tool with his first.
As soon as I mentioned looking nervous, that we see a double commit, and they're just all over each other in the net. And a great shot from Tool as well. There was a goalkeeper. I think ZPS was in net trying to get a save. He had a lot of coverage on the net, but still the shot was just too strong.
ZPS will follow up on the kickoff, but this goes right to Bambi, who does have the flip reset, but couldn't do anything with it. Tool will try to get this out to Porklet. Primary strategy for the Zookeepers. And Astro makes a save, but that was not pretty. I think ZPS threw him off, and Bambi will finish the job.
And now Compadres, it seems like the double commits are just everywhere. ZPS pre-flipping there to try and get a piece of it, and then the bump and physical play might have scared him off a little bit. And then all of a sudden, Zookeepers run away, and in game 2, they're up 2-0.
We compliment the guy one time.
Yeah,
and
that's just how it is.
Kind of made a mess of things.
I said they haven't been panicking at all, and then now we see just pre-flips all over the place.
Compadres, turn the stream off. You don't want to listen to us. Trust me on that. Skills over towards Astro, trying to get out of the zone, and that ball is whipped right back around. And there waiting is Tool, but nobody else. They only have 3 cars on the field after all. Now here's ZPS. Trying to get a pass ahead to Astro. Instead, Skills will back up the play. And that is well collected by Tool. Great control along the back wall. They are not out of the woods just yet, though. What a save by Bambi. Had to guess, and he guessed right.
And the shot from Astro was great as well. Bambi just making an even better save. The third rotation coming in a little bit slow, but they managed to make it work.
Little more than a penalty kick at that point. That is brilliant from Bambi. Here's Skills, though. Pinching that all the way around the corner. Nobody crashing the net, though. Now ZPS will come in, but Tool has that defended off the backboard. Now who will take this? Porklet thought about going up the wall. Now he does, and he'll take care of that ball from Skills. Another one lobbed in that is well defended by Bambi. Going to the backboard has not been working so far in this game.
What a save.
But then again, going at the net hasn't worked either.
Yeah. I mean, we just saw Tool. I mean, he got a pre-jump and was just floating, waiting for the shot. I don't think the goalkeeper would have been able to save it if he didn't do the bold move of pre-jumping, and he still managed to make contact.
See, pre-jumping does work every once in a while.
Yeah, it's really just a gut instinct that these players develop over time. To just have that instinct and know where the shot's going to come in.
Tool collects a penny and will let loose with a blast that is saved by ZPS, played further by Skills, coming up now into the second half of Game 2. And Compadres, it's not like they haven't had their chances, but it's been a spectacular defensive effort from Zookeepers. And not only that, Turtle, they have turned their defense into offense.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I wanted to see from them. Zookeepers, they're being aggressive as well. They're getting these shots on target. You know, in Game 1, I felt like they had so many opportunities that just went wasted due to poor shots and poor placement. But now, you know, they're doing some mind games. They're throwing in some dribbles. And Zookeepers, they've come to play here in Game 2.
Well, that's a great job getting over Tool. But again, nobody crashing the net for Compadres. As much as they are shooting, they are a little timid when it comes to crashing into the offensive end. Here is Bambi to bank one out. He'll have to play that himself. ZPS was all over him. That's a good ball back to Skills and a good reset for the Compadres, trying to get their first goal in Game 2. Try to claw their way back into this game. Make Zookeeper sweat a little bit. That's going to ricochet off of Porklet. ZPS got a piece of him as well, I think, and Skills watches that one roll home.
And you're right, look at the bump come in. We got a demo already, and then CPS is just being a nuisance in the defensive net area, and he's just going to bump him in the middle of his flip. A free net to shoot at for Compadres and nobody back. Because you just assume at that point, if you're Zookeepers, you got to get boost. The starvation was coming through, the pressure, it was all on point.
They score almost 2 goals a game, and they give up 2 goals a game. The Compadres, they're playing exactly as they have all season long. Now they need one more in the final minute to at least force overtime. That's going to be blocked away by Tool. Bambi has that deflect off of, I believe, Astro. Loose in front, it was not a good clear, and Porklet gets the goal back.
And we're seeing uncharacteristic misses after Game 1. I thought the defense from Compadres was really solid. Then all of a sudden over here, big misses on the backboard. I believe in Game 1, actually, we did see a missed clear. That's about it, though. Compadres, the second goal where it seems like the defense is just lacking.
Skills around 1. Tool has to chase after this very quickly, and Bambi scoops one up off the goal. Now it is Bambi to send one away, far away.
No
what a
way.
shot from Tool, but Astro's there, but it doesn't matter much. Bambi is going to add another, and Zookeepers have put away Game 2.
And look at the shot from Tool. I can't even express how great the timing was with his flip. That's how he got so much power on that initial shot, and they were just forced to make a save. Compadres really running out of options here on defense.
The teams combined for 30 shots in Game 1, and it must feel like the Compadres have faced 30 shots from Zookeepers, because the shots that have come in, and they have been plenty, 11 in total, not many have been off the mark. The final seconds will tick away, and this series is all tied up.
Yeah.
You wondered what the Zookeepers are going to be like after losing that first game in overtime. Another one of those, oh, here we go again moments. Boy, did they come back with authority.
And I'm serious, man. Like, this is such a common trait amongst the rival series to see a team come out, so strong and so dominant in that first game, and then they end up losing and falling in the second match, or second game, so horribly. Like, it just becomes a complete switch around of play styles. Right there, Zookeepers, they switched it up. They were hitting every single shot, and they don't let any of the first game habits plague them in the next game.
And you talk about how different that game was from game one. ZPS, who factored in so heavily in game one, only one shot, just one, in that second game. And, well, the result speaks for itself.
And he's not even the guy we're looking at to make these shots. It's skills as well. So it's weird. It's like, where do you put the blame on Compadres? And if you are Compadres, I think it's really just the defense. It was just really sloppy from them.
Yeah, it's much better for the Zookeepers.
Yeah.
They controlled the ball a lot better in the defensive end. They didn't let Compadres get shot after shot after shot. And as a result, 4-1, a dominant second game win. It looked like early on Compadres had something going. They had plenty of great opportunities. But once those were turned away, once Zookeepers weathered the storm, it just turned into little more than just a light rain.
Right, and the rotations from Zookeepers feel very safe, and that's what I like about it right now, because you'll see maybe a member from their defensive end miss a touch, but then they always have the rotation coming in super fast to get some kind of a challenge and help out whoever misses the touch or is in a rough situation. And Compadres, they're not doing that. They're really banking on every single hit from their teammates, which is what you want to see, but if you're not making contact, it's not going to work out.
Well, let's break this tie, why don't we? It is... Well, that tie has also been broken, and ZPS, right on cue, wakes up immediately in Game 3.
And he matches the amount of shots he had last game, but this time he actually puts it in the net. ZPS, again, coming in clutch, and it's not skills, it's ZPS this series.
3 goals in the series so far. He joins Bambi among the leaders so far. He's going to have a chance at another as he challenges Tool. And now Astro going to center one for skills coming on, and Tool is right there to make the save. Now Bambi, backboard play. That goes off of Astro, I think. If it did, it didn't come off very hard, and Tool will tie the game.
And another defensive miss here from Astro on the backboard. You have to make contact, and that's been something that we've actually seen from Compadres before early in the series, is timing the backboard bounces, and they're not hitting them.
Well, Tool is very busy in this series. Scores that equalizer very early on. Had the 8 saves we mentioned earlier in that long overtime in Game 1 as that ball's cleared away by Astro. He joins Monkey Moon and Tadpole in Europe as players with 8 saves in a game this season alone. It'll be Astro. Of course, he is the all-time saves leader in the rival series, playing 4 seasons. That will help a lot. Blocked by Porklet. Astro's got to make another clear. Not credited with a save that time. And it will be Skills with Astro right on his heels, trying to play this downfield.
Yeah, and I love the shadowing there of Astro, staying behind his teammate, waiting for the challenge. And I think when Compadres do own a lot of the midfield, it comes down to that. And just having very good spatial awareness of where to be placed at and how to follow up.
We're seeing a spirited attack from the Zookeepers. They've got a lot of shots.
Another
from
one.
Mid-range, right down the middle. That one from close range, and it's Bambi.
Yeah, and look at the utilization of the backboard. I mean, everybody at that point, 2 players banging it across, using the backboard, being so efficient with it. And Bambi has probably one of the easier shots this series because you can't really keep up with that if you're Compadres.
Bambi has scored 4 goals in this series. His teammates have combined for 4 goals. He's assisted on 3 of them.
Yeah.
Here is ZPS. Lobbing one in, Skills to finish. We're tied right back up.
The man we all wanted to hear from, Skills, finally puts one in and does it with fashion. I mean, he just outpaced his defender. And at that point, the pass from ZPS was too good.
3:16 remaining in what has turned into more of a marathon than a sprint in Game 3.
ZPS, I thought I was going to get that angle. And so, I mean, it's the way he's positioned with his clears, I feel like Compadres really following up strongly.
It'll be Skills to lob one in that Bambi sends away. And back and forth, these 2 teams go. It's must win for very different reasons. The Zookeepers coming in at 1-5, they're going to need everything to go their way just to stay in the top 6. They still certainly have a chance, especially with a win here. Meanwhile, for the Compadres, they have their sights set on top 4, just getting into the rival playoffs, because top 2 is very unrealistic at this point. ZPS, 2 skills. Astro is waiting, but he's going to have to keep waiting. Now he'll finally come up and play this, but Tool read it. He had the soul read on him, and now ZPS will have to play this out of his own corner. Porklet cuts off Astro, plays that ball back intended for Bambi, but it's ZPS who controls, and that's big for the Compadres. They get to reset on the defensive end and start bringing the attack to the Zookeeper.
And again from ZPS there, we saw the patient play, the patient approach to the ball, waiting for it to hit the ground, and the panic as well from Zookeepers. That's what you want to see to control the game, control possession, is just be calm, patient, and only really use up all of your boost when you need to.
Skills banking one off the ceiling and not out of the zone. Dueling demos in front of the Compadres net, and it will be ZPS who tries to get this out of the zone, but it's brought right back in by Tool. Got a second touch as well, and Astro will try and do him one better. He'll even control this, but it's blocked away by Bambi. Well done on the initial surge. Now Skills has that one fall in his lap, and it's still saved by Porklet.
And what a save that was, Porklet. Skills had 2 back-to-back shots that were just heat seekers, and nobody, I thought, was going to manage to find the save, and yet here we are, still tied up, a minute left. The defense getting tested.
Officially fewer shots on net than the previous 2 games by a significant margin, but the action has not lacked one bit. In the final minute, it is sent away by Astro, or rather, after Astro got the demo. Now Bambi just trying to bank one out, and it will be Skills sending one on that Tool will send away. More importantly, though, out of harm's way for the moment and no immediate response. Now Porklet will deflect another out with 20 seconds left. ZPS trying to play hero, but he's missed it high. Skills will try to center again, but nobody had jumped back into that center spot. They'd all retreated, and this ball is clear.
Pressure still on, though. Skills, he can end it.
And he was going to. Tool was in no man's land, but he's bailed out by Bambi, and we will go to overtime. And Compadres there, you can see, they were letting that ball go, and I think everyone's starting to sweat a little bit like, oh no, what if this actually gets to the ramp? Here goes Porklet, looking to make it a short overtime, and he's blocked by ZPS. Now Astro, breakaway, he scores!
No. Zookeepers, the defense, where was it? Skills with a great clear, but you still need to have a third man rotating back, just too slow. Couldn't predict the clear, but I'm still left here wondering, where was the third man? I didn't get a chance to see because it felt like Zookeepers, you know, were waiting patient. The clear was relatively obvious, and somebody there has to be rotating back or at least try and get an interception off of the pass clear.
You had 2 racing back at the midfield line on either side, and the problem was, looked like, I think it was Bambi was almost stride for stride with Astro, just a little bit behind him, and he had to veer off for boost because he realized he couldn't get to the goal otherwise, and as a result, that left the other defender, which I think was Porklet, and he could not get back in time. It is an unfortunate mishap, and Compadres take advantage. They have a couple of overtime wins now. They are 1 win away from a huge win to start week 4.
I mean, it was probably the worst way you could lose in overtime. It's just an open net rolling in. It can't get any worse than that, but Compadres, they respond again in this game. Game 2, I was really shaky on how they were playing. The defense was so off. We saw one mistouch this game on the backboard from Astro again, but that's about it from Compadres. Zookeepers also doing a great job. It was probably the closest one besides that first game that we had. And really, like you said, Compadres, match point for them. This is a huge game and a huge week for them alone because they're trying to break into that top 4.
For what it's worth, only numbers nerds will really care about this, but now the Compadres in overtime games, they have broken even at 500. They came in at 1-3, but they get a couple of OT wins here. It's different, though, the way they're playing in overtime. It feels like they are more aggressive and able to take advantage of the opportunities that are coming their way, where in the past, we've seen them get to overtime, and they just go into the shell. They almost play kind of a prevent defense. Unfortunately, the only thing prevent prevents in Rocket League is winning.
Yeah, and that's definitely a mentality thing. I think when you go into overtime, it's so easy to give in and change how you're playing, be more passive, you know, be extremely cautious, and that just throws everything you have going for you out the window. Because, you know, not all your teammates are going to be on the same page. Usually it's way worse to try and play passive. Just keep the aggression up in overtime.
Porklet got a second touch that he probably was not expecting. And so Astro is at least able to control this for a moment. Now ZPS will finish off the clear and in fact put one close enough to the target to give Porklet a save as he clears away. Got the midfield boost, trying to put the pressure on Skills, but the ball does go all the way across. Tool will try to follow it up, but ZPS is right there. Bambi with a drive, similar to some of the shots we've seen out of ZPS, who has come alive in this season.
Yeah.
That's going to be sent all the way back down, and now a chance maybe for the Compadres to put the pressure on Zookeepers. Tool against ZPS. Another ball that's going to be cleared away by Bambi. He does stay with this for a moment, but ZPS blows up the play. Another ball that's led a little too far away from Astro, and
just feeler games right now.
Yeah, where we've seen score early in every game so far. This one has taken on a much different tone, and I think the pressure is starting to mount for Zookeepers. You're not seeing them fly around the field.
And I mean, if you're Compadres, that's the best thing to be aware of, just staying passive, waiting for that one single mistake. But here's a great shot from Tool. Doesn't find the net. But that's the first amount of pressure or even scary shots come through for Zookeepers. Meanwhile, Compadres, they're just trying to break out their defense.
Well, now this is the Zookeepers we're used to seeing. That'll drop down, but out of harm's way for the moment. There, the follow-up is saved by Skills. Another rebound shot saved by ZPS. And Astro just got a touch there to prevent a shot from Porklet.
And I found that Compadres, oh wait, no, don't do it to him.
Hello! Oh, it's ZPS missing off the post.
And we saw, you could see the thread he was trying to connect, going for the double touch, so close to finding it. And Compadres, it's weird, their defense style is more of, they would rather just go for the save rather than kind of force themselves up and challenge the ball when a shot's coming through.
It almost looks like, and hey, if they did this, more power to them, it almost looks like Zookeepers slowed the game down, tried to lull Compadres into a false sense of security, and then immediately pressed the switch, and here they are. Tool gonna take his time getting around ZPS.
No way.
Got around Astro as well, but it's Skills who finally makes the stop. But more zone time for the Zookeepers as they have controlled much of the last minute and a half.
I love the idea of Tool going for a mind game there. Almost getting the third man. He would have beat the whole team of Compadres. But so far, a scoreless game here. We're almost done with game 4.
Porklet had to wait and wait. Now Astro missed on what was a wide open net, and Tool ranges over, just barely beating Skills. That ball will be on target as well and is sent away by ZPS. Well, now the action very fast, very furious, up and down the field. It is Tool. He has Bambi in support. We haven't said Bambi's name a whole lot over the last couple of games, but he's still there and he's looking to make his presence felt, winning a challenge, running around in front, hoping Porklet could get the ball to him. He could not. Now Tool. Couldn't do anything with that ball. Down to 47 seconds and counting. Porklet with a dunk. That will run just wide.
Time winding down. 38 seconds left. I mean, both teams very passive. Nobody wants to overextend and play that aggressive role. They're just waiting for an incredible shot, a difficult angle to come through. And it's almost like both teams at this point have accepted that.
Looks like they're just playing for overtime at this point. Tool. Out of the corner. Being marked by Astro. Good job by Bambi to get around him with only 10 seconds left. Will anybody make a push for the net? ZPS. He can play this himself. Astro waiting to support the play. ZPS does bail out, and we go to overtime absolutely scoreless.
Zookeepers, how are they going to respond? Match point, overtime for them. A crucial game for both teams. And Zookeepers, they got to be aggressive, stay aggro, finish these spots.
Porklet found the angle, and he gets by Astro. Doesn't happen very often, especially a shot with not that much power behind it, but it does fall in 16 seconds into overtime.
And what a pass from Bambi in the corner, barely finding a little pop on the ball, and that was everything, giving your teammate enough time in the air. And I think it actually beat out 2 players from Compadres, and they respond here. Game 4, Zookeepers stay alive, push game 5. Oh man, that was so close, such a low scoring game. I mean, literally only 1 OT goal.
Yeah, that was a, trying to come up with a word, that was definitely not the norm.
Yeah.
That they strayed so far away from what we've seen in this series so far, but yet again, yeah, this is my birthday gift, by the way. Every series that I've been out here for has gone 5 games.
I mean, that's the best. What else can you ask for, Stats?
Yeah, right? Well, hey, they have been fun to watch,
to
say the very least. And this one, absolutely no different. It has been back and forth, 2 teams at times throwing haymakers, and then just a little jab here and there. It's been great between Compadres.
Really explosive. I think that's the way to define it, because it feels like I said, both teams, they're kind of passive. They're just waiting it out, feeling out the defense. Then all of a sudden, you'll see like ZPS. He's been a great player so far this entire series, hitting these crazy shots. And then Bambi comes through. That pass was phenomenal. I don't know how he managed to pop it up like that and not get too much power, but he outbeat 2 defenders, got a great opening, and that's plays that we need to see from Zookeepers. I mean, they're not going to be able to break the defense, because Compadres right now, they're not making those mistakes they did earlier in the series where they just missed the backboard. It really comes down to outstanding plays like that to make a difference in the series.
For the Zookeepers, it's very simple. They got to win this game to even have a chance at finishing within
Simple
the top
enough.
6. And then they pretty much have to win the other 2 matches that they play as they finish out the season. Compadres, they finish their season tonight when they play Afterthought later. They need to win these 2 matches if they want a shot at the rival playoffs coming up in just a few weeks. This will be blocked all the way downfield. It is ZPS to intercept at midfield. He is going to wait and now finally head back.
I mean, if you're Compadres right now, you've been consistent against some of the great teams right now in rival series, some of the top tier, but have fallen short to a lot of the I guess, unfortunate teams and teams you couldn't really see them losing to. It seems like they can find momentum, but can't finish out when it matters most. Now here's a chance in game 5.
Tool was just watching that, and he's like, well, if this is on, they got me beat. And it did just barely miss. Hitting the post, now back the other way. Come the Compadres, they want more. Astro did not get that midfield boost, and that might have affected how much power he got on that shot. Came in just a little slower. Now Bambi. Out to Porklet, taken instead by ZPS. Tool is out of the play, and Porklet has to work a little overtime on the defensive end. Oh, how about this from Skills? Even better, the drop down from Astro here, putting one in front.
And fundamental rotations from him as well. I mean, he got the demo and then rotated in to find the shot. Skills really coming alive in game 5, almost a minute and a half in. And he's the player we talked about so much. We need to see him step up, and he does so at the best time possible.
These 2 teams desperate for a win, battle in game 5, and the first strike belongs to the Compadres. It came after a couple of demos that set them up on the offensive end. ZPS downfield looking for Skills, trying to add to that lead. Do not let a team like Zookeepers hang around. They've been allowed to hang around in this series, and you see the result. They are threatening to drag the Compadres right down with them. Porklet got 1 touch, and now Tool will come on. I think Porklet was going to try to play that ball. Tool had to come in, though. He had the better play. Now Bambi will have a look, trying to beat ZPS on the near side, and he just pinned it against the post.
And what a reaction from ZPS, barely using his flip to get any form of a hit on that save. I was looking at probably the worst situation you could be in with a huge shot coming in. And ZPS, he has been such a spotlight player this entire series, offense and defensively.
The theme you're going to hear us talk about, I think, a lot today is what might have been, as ZPS going to try to play the slow game against Porklet, got over him, but Tool is able to get back in time. And what might have been for the Zookeepers had they won some of these game fives that they played over the season. ZPS pushes a shot wide. What might have been if he scored that? A 2-goal lead. Now Astro, he can't finish. ZPS denied by Bambi as well.
And the second chance he had, ZPS, back-to-back opportunities for him. The placement just wasn't perfect. He had a couple of spots and slots he could have hit, but he just kind of shot at the defender. And Zookeepers, they get away with the murder right now. Looking for some kind of chance here. They're still trailing by 1, but that was a really close call for them.
The Zookeepers have gone the distance against Afterthought, Bull Send, and Linked Up. They lost all 3 times. Will the 4th time be the charm? Another ball brought in front. ZPS has it. Pass across from Porklet. I think he was hoping Bambi would come up. But the communication not there in time. And a chance in front will be set all the way across.
And look at the shots from Compadres. 10 shots to 2. I mean, the pressure is on. But right now, it's almost like Zookeepers have a lot of the starvation against Compadres. They're just not really putting anything on net.
Someone has to come up here. It is Tool, but I think he tried to play that low, hoping the defenders would just run up the back wall out of habit. Now is a chance, though, for the Zookeepers. Skills has to be very sure with this, and he's not. So now Tool's wrap around the board attempt is sent away. So too is that by Skills. Tool will try again. He has no boost to play with. ZPS has plenty, and he intercepts the play yet again. Skills has that go to the front. But that's a good team defense by Tool and Porklet. I think they both pinch that ball downfield. Yeah. And now Porklet, he just stays right there with 20 to go, and a chance now for the Zookeepers. They're not letting this ball out of the zone, but now the attack is in dire straits. They only have 10 to work with, and another ball going the wrong way. Tool now over ZPS, but not over Astro. They got to keep it up, get the ball in front. They do not, and the Compadres survive. They hand the Zookeepers their 4th Game 5 loss of the season.